Akandamandalakaram Yabdanyena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanati Mirandasya Yananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Savaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yat Kinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Bhavati Vyapi Yat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Sarvasuti Shiroratna Virajita Padam Bhuja Vedantam Bhuja Suryoya Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Shashvata Shanto Yomadito Niranjana Indunada Kaladita Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Shakti Samaruda Tattvamala Vibhushitaha Bhukti Mukti Pradatacha Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Aneka Janma Sampraptam Karma Bandha Vidaine Atmanyana Pradhanena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Shoshanam Bhava Singosha Jnapanam Sara Sampadaham Guru Padodakam Samyam Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Na Guru Radhikam Tattvam Na Guru Radhikam Tapaham Tattvajnana Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Manata Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mahatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Radhiranadisha Guru Paramadevata Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Sri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev Jai Sri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev Jai Sri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev Jai Swami Vishwananda Gurudev Oh Jai Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev Jai Vishwananda Gurudev. Jai Sri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. Premavatara 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 Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. Premavatara Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. Premavatara Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. Premavatara Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. Jai Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Jai Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Jai 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 Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Premavatara Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. 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 Oh Premavatara Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana. 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 Premavata Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana.
Premavata Sadguru Deva Sri Vishwananda Narayana.
Jai Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev.
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 Jai Shri Swami Vishwananda Gurudev. Om Avatar Shishaya Namah, Om Vishamaya Namah, Om Devakari Samudhyataya Namah, Om Suchmatanave Namah, Om Chinmayaya Namah, Om Guru Murtaye Namah, Om Sudaraya Namah, Om Sulochanaya Namah, Om Sumukhaya Namah, Om Charvasaya Namah, Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Padmabhujaya Namah, Om Mandagamanaya Namah, Om Charubaradarine Namah, Om Ramaya Namah, Om Adhyastapakaya Namah, Om Shrivavarshakaya Namah, Om Gayatri Ajvane Namah, Om Anpanasvikarakaya Namah, Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namah, Om Namo Narayana Iti Mantrapasakaya Namah, Om Saramayaya Namah, Om Madhurakantaya Namah, Om Krishna Sankirtana Lupaya Namah, Om Sutra Priyaya Namah, Om Itapashine Namah, Om Bhagmine Namah, Om Chitrakala Visharadaya Namah, Om Vratadharaya Namah, Om Sadave Namah, Om Jagatpantaya Namah, Om Sarvalokaitaya Namah, Om Bhakta Priyaya Namah, Om Surdaya Namah, Om Anukulaya Namah, Om Neyaya Namah, Om Sudarshanaya Namah, Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namah, Om Premamurtaye Namah, Om Shubhekshanaya Namah, Om Prithivardhanaya Namah, Om Sasidayakaya Namah, Om Tarakaya Namah, Om Anugrahaya Namah, Om Vardhanaya Namah, Om Architaya Namah, Om Artaya Namah, Om Siddhipradaya Namah, Om Janardhanaya Namah, Om Manoharaya Namah, Om Mahakshaya Namah, Om Siddheshwaraya Namah, Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namah, Om Atmalingaya Namah, Om Ningarchana Prasakaya Namah, Om Siddhisadanaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Omkarupasakaya Namah, Om Sukshmaya Namah, Om Vishokaya Namah, Om Satvikaya Namah, Om Samadarshine Namah, Om Lakshaya Namah, Om Achintyaya Namah, Om Niramkaraya Namah, Om Nirmohaya Namah, Om Agyagraya Namah, Om Jitakrodaya Namah, Om Vinayashilaya Namah, Om Savashaya Namah, Om Kushalaya Namah, Om Shamaya Namah, Om Satyadharmaya Namah, Om Nirvikalpaya Namah, Om Viraktaya Namah, Om Atindraya Namah, Om Satyasandaya Namah, Om Pavitraya Namah, Om Madhurasvabhavaya Namah, Om Suranandaya Namah, Om Nandanaya Namah, Om Prasanatmane Namah, Om Bhaktanidaye Namah, Om Sakshaye Namah, Om Samatmaye Namah, Om Sadayogine Namah, Om Haraye Namah, Om Sutapaya Namah, Om Somyaya Namah, Om Guyaya Namah, Om Vimuktatmaya Namah, Om Gabiraya Namah, Om Guptaya Namah, Om Atmaramaya Namah, Om Srinivasaya Namah, Om Devaya Namah, Om Yutidharaya Namah, Om Danyaya Namah, Om Gurave Namah, Om Guratikramaya Namah, Om Gahanaya Namah, Om Bhagavate Namah, Om Harisharnamargadarshakaya Namah, Om Kutasajagartakaya Namah, Om Abhiprayaya Namah, Om Sarvamata Samatyaya Namah, Om Shamalkatabhavardakaya Namah, Om Premavatar Sri Vishwananda Swami Namah. Avantu Deva Avantu No Yato Vishnur Vichakrame Pridivya Sapta Dhamabhi Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Predanyade Padam Samudamasya Pagum Sure Trini Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopa Adavya Adho Dharmani Dharane Vishnu Karmani Pakshata Yato Vritani Paspashe Indrasya Yujasakaha Tad Vishnu Paramam Padagum Sada Pashanti Suraya Diveva Chakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamindate Vishnoya Paramam Padam. Premavattaraya Vidmaye Sadgurudevaya Dhimai Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayat. Om Premavattaraya Vidmaye Sadgurudevaya Dhimai Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayat. Om Premavattaraya Vidmaye Sadgurudevaya Dhimai Tanno Vishwananda Prachodayat. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samabhrabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Bhur Bhuvasvah Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Yo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvasvah Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Yo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvasvah Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Yo Yo Na Prachodayat. Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketabhare Narayana Achyuta Trivikrama Chakrapane Deityadri Sarjadhara Sridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhata Shri Rukmini Shabhavana Hare Murare Radesha Gopesha Surupa Brahmadivanya Shri Dvarakashraya Vaikuntapate Bhuvane Kamurte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Meenakrite Kamatarupa Varahamurte Trivikramaya Guhane Bhur Rama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Movinda Madhava Mukunda Parat Paresha Damodharam Jadharananda Kadhari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Sambrita Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priyare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rabdi Sai Bhujagadi Patal Pashai Sad Bhakta Hi Sadana Shai Ramanga Shai Shri Gopabhama Mridutalpasukadishai Gopavallabhare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapatri Sukhanarada Gautamadi Brahmarshi Sangamani Sangava Bharatesho Tishtanti Deva Tava Darshana Bhagya Eto Gopala Sekara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Mandara Jadi Mula Sidala Malikadhyai Malyani Anjali Pute Samudaharanti Tishtanti Tvadbhavata Dharatale Munidra Radha Manohara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Vedatraya Patati Gautama Gana Guya Gayanti Sadguna Gano Varada Savarga Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Vishesha Shri Narada Dirshaya Tava Suprabhatam Govardhano Dharana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamrita Subesha Baba Vipota Trilokya Moana Sumangala Divya Deha Shri Rukmini Shavarada Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vatsachina Sharanagata Parijata Bhaktarti Banjana Kripa Karadhina Bandho Vikanta Gayati Jana Priya Divya Rupa Srinanda Gopatanaya Tava Suprabhatam Padmasha Padma Mukha Padma Dhara Prameya Padmalaya Shraheda Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavati Sura Sevita Pada Padma Padmadhinata Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vrindatane Viharanaya Mahendra Vandya Andarpadarpa Haratine Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Sina Chandana Lipta Deha Govinda Yadhavare Tava Suprabhatam Sri Nandanandana Yashoda Kumara Dhira Mayangadina Davichona Supushpahara Nilambudal Sharira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Sri Bhashi Jambavati Satya Sugandhi Bhadra Shri Mitra Vindra Divasa Prabhu Putrikadya Shri Divya Pavame Tava Sevanada Gopi Mana Priyare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapam Sukhananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane Namani Divya Munayurdani Chambadanti Rami Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Suprabhatam Ye Patanti Arnisham Guri Kritan Mahapapan Shri Krishna Graha Hetukam Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhira Bhipalayanta Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Vedum Pavantamaravindadalayakaksham Bharavatam samasitam Buddha sundarangam Kandarpakotika maniya vishesha shobham Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Kalola chandra kala sadvanamalya vamshi Ratnagadam pranaya keli kala vilasam Shamam tribhangalalitam niyata prakasham Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Angani yasya sakalindriya vrittimanti Parshanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti Ananda shimaya sadujvala vigrahasya Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Advaitamachyutamanadimanantarupam Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha Vedeshu durlabhamadurlabhamatmabhakto Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Pantastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo Vayoratapi manaso muni pungavanam Sopyasti yatra parasimya vichintya tatre Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Ekopya sarachayatum jagadanda kotim Yachakirasti jagadanda chayaya danta Andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Yadbhavavaditadiyo manujastateva Samprapya rupa mahima sanayana musha Sukte yameva nigama pratite suvanti Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitavi Sabira eva nijarupataya kalavi Goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Premanjana chulika bhakti vilochanena Sarta sadeva hinareshu vilokayanti Yashama sundaram achintya gunasvarupam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Ramadi murti shukalani amena tishta Nanavatara makarot bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna svayam samabhavat paramapumanyo Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanta koti Kotishvashesha vasudhadi vibhuti vinam Tat brahmanishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Maya iyasya jagadanda shatani sute Trigunya tadvishaya veda vitaya mana Sattva valambi para sattva vishuddha sattvam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Ananda chinmaya rasatmakaya manashu Ya praninam pratipalam svaratam upetya Lila ritena bhuvanani jayati jasram Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Golokanamni nijadamni tale chatasya Devi mahesha haridhama suteshu teshu Tete prabhavani chayavi tasyayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Shishti Shriti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vivarti Durga Vinchadurupam Abhiyasya Chacheshta Tesha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Chiram Yatadadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga Sanjayate Naitata Pratigasti Eto Yashambhutam Apitata Samupeti Karya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vipachireva Ida Shantaranam Yupetyam Vipayate Vrigata Heti Samana Dharma Yastadriyeva Isha Vishnu Daya Vimati. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Yagharananavajale Bhajati Sma Yoga Nidram Ananta Jagadanda Saroma Kupa Adhara Shakti Mavalambya Param Svamurti. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasya Ganeshya Sitakala Matavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanata Vishnur Mahansaya Yasya Kala Vishesho. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Tasam Yatasma Sakaleshu Nijeshu Teja Sviyam Kiyat Pragatayat Yapitadva Atra Brahmaya Hesa Jagadanda Vidhana Karta. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha Vande Pranama Samaye Saganadi Rajaha Dignam Viham Tumahalasya Jagatrayasya. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Agnir Mahi Gaganamambo Marudishascha Kalasta Tatma Manasiti Jagatrayani Yasmad Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yamcha. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yakshakshureshu Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teshaha Yasyagnaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Dharmo Tapapa Nichaya Sutayastapamsi Brahmadikita Patagavadayascha Jiva Yatata Mata Vibhava Pakvata Prabhava. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahosvakarma Vandana Rupa Palabhaja Manata Noti Karmani Nirdahati Kintu Chabhakti Bhajam. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yam Krodha Kama Saja Pranayadi Piti Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavahi Sanchintya Tasya Sadishintanu Purete. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
हिरण्यवर्णामरिणीं सुवर्णरजतस्रजां चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः तान् महावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं विन्देयं गामश्वं पुरुषानहम् अश्वपूर्वामृतमद्यां हस्तिनादप्रबोधिनीं श्रियं देवीमुपक्वये श्रीर्मा देवी विशतां कांसोऽस्मितां हिरण्यप्राकारामर्त्रां ज्वलन्तीं कृतां तर्पयन्तीं पद्मे स्थितां पद्मवर्णां तामिहोपक्वये श्रियम् चन्द्रां प्रभासां यशसा ज्वलन्तीं श्रियं लोके देवजुष्टामुदारां तां पद्मिनीमीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये अलक्ष्मीर्मे नश्यतां त्वां वृणे आदित्यवर्णे तपसोऽधिजातो वनस्पतिस्तव वृक्षोऽथ बिल्वः तस्य फलानि तपसानुदन्तु मायान्तरायाश्च बाह्या अलक्ष्मीः उपेतु मां देव सखा कीर्तिश्च मनिना सह प्रादुर्भूतोऽस्मि राष्ट्रेऽस्मिन् कीर्तिमृद्धिं ददातु मे क्षुत्पिपासामलां ज्येष्ठामलक्ष्मीं नाशयाम्यहम् अभूतिमसमृद्धिं च सर्वान् निर्नुदमे गृहात् गन्धद्वारां दुरादर्शां नित्यपुष्टां करीषिणीम् ईश्वरीगुं सर्वभूतानां तामिहोपक्वये श्रयम् मनसः काममाकूतिं वाचः सत्यमशीमयि पशूनां रूपमन्यस्य महिषी श्रयतां यशः कर्तमेन प्रजा भूता मयि सम्भव कर्दमा श्रियं वासय मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीम् आपसृजन्तु स्निग्धानि चिक्रीतवसमे गृहे निच देवी मातरं श्रियं वासय मे कुले आर्द्रां पुष्करिणी पुष्टिं सुवर्णामेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः आर्द्रां यकरिणीं यष्टिं पिङ्गलां पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः तामहावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं प्रभूतं गावो दास्योऽश्वान् विन्देयं पुरुषानहम् यस्य चित्प्रयतो भूत्वा जुहुयादाजमन्वहम् सूक्तं पञ्चदश चंचषीकामा सततं जपेत् पद्मप्रिये पद्मिनि पद्महस्ते पद्मालये पद्मदलायताक्षी विश्वप्रिये विष्णुमनोनुकूले तत्पादपद्मं महि सन्निरस्व महादेवे च विद्महे विष्णुपत्ये च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। भूमिर्भुम्नां योवरिनन्तरिक्षं महित्वा उपस्थिते देविदितेऽग्निमन्नादमन्नाद्यायाददे आयङ्गो कृष्णिरक्रमीरसनं मातरं पुनः पितरं च प्रयं सुवः त्रिगुंशक्तावविराजति वाक्पतङ्गाय शिश्रये प्रत्यस्य वहत्युभिः अस्य प्राणादपानन्यन्तश्चरति रोचना व्यक्यन्महिषः सुवः Yatva kritaparovapamanyuna yadavatya Sukalpamagne tattava punastoti payamasi Yakte manyuparoptasya prithivī manudatvase Aditya vishve taddeva vasamascha samaparan Manojyotirdushatamakcham vichyannam yajñagam samimam dadatu Brihaspatistanutamimam no vishve deva yamadayanta Medini devi vasundara syat vasudha devi vasavi Brahma vachasa pitranagum shotram chakshurmanaha Devi hiranyagarbhini devi prasuvari Sadane satyayane sida Samudravati savitri ano devi mayangi Mahodarni mahogyatishta Shange shange yagne yagne vibhishani Indrapadni vyapini surasaririha Vayumeti jalashayani Shriyam daraja satyam doparimedini Shoparidadam barigaya Vishnupagni mahim devi Madhavi madhava priyam Lakshmi priyasakim devi Namamachyuta vallabham Dhanudaraye vidmahe sarvasayyai cha dhimahi Tanno dhara prachodayat Om Shanti 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 Nilam Devi Gupsharanamaham Prapadye Vrinahi Gritavati Savitaradipatye Payasvati Rantilashano Astu Trivadishad Vishnupadnya Gura Sishana Sahasoya Manota Brihaspati Matarishvota Vayu Sandubana Vata Abhinogrananto Vishtambo Divodarna Prithivya Asyeshana Jagato Vishnupatni Mahadevi cha vidmahe Vishnupatnye cha dhimahi Tanno Nila prachodayat Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Gurudev, good morning. So the verse from today, or for today, is from Canto 7, the canto of Lord Narasimha. I will read the verse first, and then I'll come to it at the end. I'll go around, tell a bit of the context. So actually, I don't want to speak too much about Narasimha, but more about the reason why he came, just Hiranyakashipu. I think there's still enough time to speak about Narasimha before Tuesday for others. So I'll try to look for something that is maybe a bit more unknown, so it's not too repetitive. So this verse is from Canto 7, Chapter 2, verse 57. I'll explain the context after. It is spoken by Yamraj. Evam yuyamapashyantya atmapayam abudabhaya nainyam prapsyata sochantya patim varsha shaterapi. Thus Yamaraj, in the disguise of a small boy, told all of the queens, "You are all so foolish that you lament but do not see your own death. Afflicted by a poor fund of knowledge, you do not know that even if you lament for your dead husband, for hundreds of years you will never get him back alive. And in the meantime, your lives will be finished also. So they give the context of the beginning of chapter 7, the first Canto 7. The first chapter is a bit separate. It's kind of the pre-story. It tells a story of curse of Jaya, Vijaya, etc. Chapter 2, it starts with the pre-story of Lord Narasimha, and it starts with after the death of Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu. And as we know, Hiranyakashipu was very attached, you could say, to his brother, and he was very upset about the death of his brother by the hands of Narayana or Vishnu. Yeah? And so he made this, you could say, vow or promise that he will destroy, Vishnu will be his enemy and he will destroy him. It was obviously because of his anger. And I would say I chose to speak about chapter 2 because it has, in a sense, two parts and two very distinct and different parts. The first part is, I would say, the part of anger. And the second part is the bit collected, logical perspective that he takes on the situation. Let's put it this way. So in the first part, he's very angry. He makes this vow, you could say, the promise that he will right this wrong of the killing of his brother. He gives all the various reasons, and one of the main reasons that he takes for why he will do this is because so far, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Being, has been equanimous towards the demons and the demigods. But now, having been covered by Maya, he has chosen sides. And so he will make this right. Okay? Because the Supreme Lord himself has been covered by Maya, and he has taken sides. This is why he will cut off his head and drink his blood, because that is what his brother was very much fond of. And so he will please his brother, and in this way, he will find peace and revenge the death of his brother. And so this is the promise, you could say, that Hiranyakashipu makes. And it is based on anger and grief, no? Injustice, the perceived injustice of life, if you want to call it this way. The second part, which I want to focus on in the verse from the second part, because I think it's a bit more inspiring, perhaps. It is actually Hiranyakashipu, after he makes his vow, he speaks to all his demonic friends and soldiers, and one of the other conclusions that he makes that after I kill Vishnu, I go down to earth. Or the righteous systems of the worship of cows, the sacrifices and yagnas being made by the Brahmins, etc., are that which feed the Lord, feed the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And so if I stop all of this, he will lose his power, because he realized that Vishnu is very powerful. And so he has to find ways to make him less powerful before fighting him. And so he said, if I remove all the sacrifices, the yagnas, the worship of cows and whatever else, he will lose his power, because that is all where he gets his power from. And then I can fight him. Yeah? And so that is what he instructs all his demon friends to do. They go and harass all the Brahmins, they stop all the sacrifices, etc., etc. Yeah? And then he retreats and does the final funeral rites for his brother. And I guess usually when there's a funeral rites, you meet with your family, you have a sad dinner or whatever. And he starts to console, because he sees everybody is very sad at the loss of their husband, their friend, their nephew, Because I guess Hiranyaksha, even though he was a demon, he had a family like everybody else. And so his wife and him as his brother, they were very sad. And so he realized, I cannot be angry in this position. I have to console them and make them feel better. And so he comes, I guess, I don't know if you want to say in that way, I don't want to be a psychoanalyst of Hiranyakashipu, but he, in a sense, it seems like he switches something in his brain, and the things that he says in pretty much the rest of the chapter reads itself like the Gita. He speaks about the natural cycle of life. He speaks about how death comes, how birth comes, and naturally everything that is being born has to die. All of this is normal. And all of these kind of topics that he speaks about. And so it's very opposite. So actually, the story of Hiranyakashipu is told by Narada, but Hiranyakashipu tells essentially two stories in this section. And he tells the stories to all the, say, assembled people, to Diti, which is the mother of Hiranyakashipu. He tells it to Rushabhanu, which is the wife of Hiranyaksha, and all the assembled queens and nephews and family members. So Hiranyakashipu, first of all, tells the story of King Suyagna. And it's a very short story. So King Suyagna was ruling in the state of Ushinara, and he was a very loved king by all his family. And in one of the battles, he was defeated, he was killed by his enemies. And as he was lying on the battlefield, all of his supporters, all of the family members, they came and they were standing around his body and they were crying and lamenting. And even their cries were so loud that Yamraj in Netherworld could hear it. And so Yamraj disguised himself as a little boy, and he came to the assembly, lamenting assembly, and he spoke to them. So it's basically Hiranyakashipu telling the story of Yamraj telling a story. So it's a story in a story, which is actually a story told by Narada, which is a story told by Sukadev, right? So it's like a story in times 4, basically. Okay? So the first story that Hiranyakashipu is telling of this situation of Yamraj joining this assembly of lamenting family members, in a sense, of course, reflects his own situation in which he finds himself in. Basically, that is the story. One of the things that Yamraj says, I only take one verse, you could take every verse, but he says, "Alas, how amazing is it, these persons who are so much older than me have full experience that hundreds and thousands of lives of living entities have taken birth and died. Thus, they should understand that they also are due to die, and yet they are still bewildered by this situation. The conditioned soul comes from an unknown place and returns after death to that same unknown place. There is no exception to this rule, which is conducted by material nature. Knowing this, why do they uselessly lament?" This is one of the verses that he speaks. And it reminds a lot, of course, also of the story with Yudhishthira and the quiz of the Rakshasa on this great lake. I forgot the name of the lake, in which all of the Pandavas already died. I gave satsang about it a long time ago, where they were very thirsty, and each of the Pandavas, they went to this lake, and the Rakshasa warned them not to drink, but they were so arrogant that they drank anyway and instantly died, as the Rakshasa told him. Only Yudhishthira had the humility to understand the situation and accept to answer all the questions. And so it was like a quiz fire of questions that the Rakshasa gave. And very often it was this question answer of like 5 words answers or 2 words answers. One of the questions that the Rakshasa asked Yudhishthira was, what is the most amazing thing in this world? And Yudhishthira's answer to this question was, the most amazing thing in this world is that throughout hundreds and thousands of lives, people are born and people die. And those people who perceive people to die, they still think that they are immortal, even though they see that everybody around them dies. And essentially, it's the same thing that Yamraj tells to the assembly, or Hiranyakashipu tells to the family members of Hiranyaksha here, which is even more ironic if you think about it, that the one thing or one conclusion that Hiranyakashipu comes to is that I need to become immortal. Because in this moment he says, everybody who is born has to die. That is nature. And so the conclusion that he takes is, I need to become immortal. Right? Understanding that that is not how nature works. But we come to that afterwards. Okay? So this one example of the story. In the explanations of Yamraj, and that was one of the philosophical, you could say, verses that I took, at the end of his descriptions and explanations to this assembly, Yamraj tells another story. So Hiranyakashipu tells the story of Yamraj, and Yamraj tells the story of 2 Kulinga birds. So these 2 Kulinga birds, they were husband and wife, and they had a family, they had a nest. They lived in the forest once upon a time. There was 2 birds who lived in the forest. And this couple, they used to love to fly around in their forest, and they used to love their family and collect food for the little birds. But it so happened that there was a hunter who used to find great joy in catching and killing birds. And so this hunter happened to enter into this forest, and he had a net, and the wife bird got caught in the net. And so the husband, Kulinga bird, became so sad and lamenting that for the entire time he would cry, how you are my second half, how should I live without you? I should immediately cut myself into half, because that is all I am without you. And so on, he laments. And in the meantime in which he laments, he stands still. And the hunter aims his arrow patiently, because he has time, and he shoots the bird, and he kills also the wife. And so both husband and wife bird are dead. I forgot one of the things that he laments about is, how should I look after my children now that you are gone? And so now all the children have lost both of their parents. And I don't know, it's a sad story. Remember, it is Yamraj telling the story. Okay? He's giving good example. And I think that it's a great example, actually, for life. Because, of course, the stories told by Hiranyakashipu and Yamraj are stories of lamentation. They are stories describing, which is lamentation usually about, the injustice of life. Of course, there is a good part to lamentation, because, of course, we are humans and we have interactions with people. And I've seen also Guruji crying for somebody who has died. But there is a greater and bigger understanding to life as we know. And also Hiranyakashipu knows, because he speaks those verses. He tells those stories, and even the one that I told before is spoken by him. The understanding, the intellectual understanding is there, right? But so often in life, even though we have knowledge, we have intellectual understanding of things, and it's not only about lamentation, it's about in general life. There's one thing which covers that knowledge or that understanding. Of course, Krishna calls it desire in chapter 3. I would say it's the mind in general, because sometimes it's not necessarily desire, it can be anger also. I would say it's emotion in general, which covers the intelligence of that we have previously acquired, or even experiences that we have previously acquired. That's what he breaks down that Krishna breaks down in chapter 2, verse 62, 63, right? It's chain reaction of what happens when we contemplate upon sense objects and we become attached to sense objects. When we don't get these sense objects, what arises is anger. From anger, when anger arises, and so on and so on and so on, right? We lose access to our memory and experiences, and we lose access to that. We lose the ability to discriminate, because the discrimination comes from the experience and the knowledge. And so, again, it's not to psychoanalyze Hiranyakashipu, but I take him as an example, because I think you can take inspiration from amazing, great personalities, but I think you can take equal example from people who have seemingly made the wrong choices in life. I would say Hiranyakashipu is maybe one of them. In our limited perspective, of course, you could say yes, he was Jaya or Vijaya, and he was by nature drawn to making those choices because he was, because of the curse, because it was meant to be, because of the Lord's Leela, blah blah blah. But trying to looking at it from a perspective in which we can take inspiration from or a lesson from, because I think it's something that we find ourselves in this kind of situations often in life also, not directly the same, but similar. No. In a sense, I would even say that Hiranyakashipu and Arjuna had found themselves in similar situations. Hiranyakashipu had already lost his brother. Forget about circumstances, but he had lost his brother, and he found himself in a situation of lamentation. Arjuna has also lost many things. Maybe not, it was before the war, not after, but yet he had lost many things. And in a sense, he was in a similar situation, I would say, because even though he has not lost all these people, he imagined losing all these people by his own hands. And so he also finds himself in a place of lamentation. You could say, yes, there are various differences between the two in terms of opportunity, because Arjuna had Krishna right next to him, convincing him and giving him the right push, the right direction. You could say, of course, Arjuna and Hiranyakashipu were very different persons, no? In terms of character, maybe, in terms of whatever. But either way, we find ourselves very often also at crossroads in life. And I think what these two examples shows that no matter what life you have, there will always be trouble in life. There will always be a situation in which you find yourself to lament. But it also shows that we always have a choice. And knowledge is important. But knowledge can be useless or made useless also if you don't have the strength to choose knowledge over emotion. Because then it will, what's the point, as we can see with Hiranyakashipu, no? Because he chooses to follow anger and a desire for fulfilling the resentment, rather than giving strength and following that which is also there, which is knowledge. Because clearly he has knowledge. He was clearly not a stupid person, no? But revenge took over. And he had this opportunity because anger was there first. But afterwards, because he had to, in order to look after his dear ones, he had to control himself, right? He had to practice self-control and say words which are logical and hopefully, pleasing and calming to his family. And so he had, I would say, even the first necessary step which we need to take good decisions, and that is to take a step back and look at things in a calm way, which we often already don't do, because often it's an instinctive reaction, and then we just blast out things that we later regret. The first thing that we need to do to come to a place in which we can take rational, good decisions is exactly that. Yet he still chose the quote-unquote wrong path, right? And so that is why, as we approach Narasimha Chaturdashi, there are many more stories to be told about him. But whenever we worship him, at least in the form that we have here, we do puja to Narasimha. We worship Prahlad as the Supreme Lord and Prahlad as that divine being that we strive to be. But we also, I wouldn't say worship, this may be a bit much, but Hiranyakashipu is there too. So when we offer the food, when we offer the incense, I guess we offer it in the same direction. No? We have to be cautious about what we feed, because we can feed the Lord, we can feed Prahlad, the good qualities inside of us, but we can very quickly also feed the negative qualities. And there is a reason why Krishna so clearly points out these two qualities exist in chapter 16. And he spends a lot more time speaking about the negative ones for a reason. No? Because they can infiltrate and overtake very easily and very quickly. And they can disguise themselves very easily as knowledge or as logic. No? And so it's important to be conscious of and cautious of them. That is why, another reason why Krishna points them out so clearly is that they become visible for us. No? Like on the altar, Prahlad is very visible. I would even argue that Hiranyakashipu is more visible than Prahlad. No? But we have to give them, we have to surrender them to the Lord. Because the Lord doesn't care what you offer him. You have to fix your mind on him. That's what Narada said in one of the other, in another part in the Bhagavatam, is that for the Lord it's irrelevant how you approach him. As long as your mind is absorbed fully in him, the Lord will accept it. So as Krishna also said, in whatever way you approach me, I will reciprocate. No? So if you love the Lord, he will reciprocate that. If you hate the Lord, he will do the same. But he or Kamsa, they also attained the Lord. Because arguably, their mind was fixed on the Lord even more than the devotees is. It is constant fixation. And so we have to offer ourselves fully to him And yes, the Lord will have to do certain operations, as he did with Hiranyakashipu. He's a great surgeon. Each part, later on, Hiranyakashipu has very proficient tools. He uses his nails to take out everything that needs to be transformed, that needs to be changed, right? You could say that probably when you read the verses of the killing of Hiranyakashipu, he takes out the different intestines, the different parts of the stomach, he takes out the heart. So each part, I'm assuming, stands for various qualities that needs to be transformed for us to become pure like Prahlad. But in that process, the negativity has to go out also. But we cannot hide it from him. We have to offer it to him. Why do you think he puts it around his neck? It's not nice, it's disgusting. But he still puts it around his neck because he says, I take everything you offer to me. I know exactly what to take out, and I will take it. I will transform it. No? You can't do it yourself anyway. So offer it to me. That is what Lord Narasimha is showing, right? That he is willing to do anything and take and accept everything you offer to him and do everything that is necessary to make us become like Prahlad. And for me, Guruji is, I need to finish, Guruji is exactly the same. He knows he's perfect professional surgeon. He knows exactly what to take out at what time, and which button to press at what time, which path to go, which to lead down to become like Prahlad, to become that pure, innocent devotee of the Lord. But to become that, it takes surgery. And so we need to be willing to offer to the Lord everything so that we can attain that goal. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlada Ladadaine.
Prahlada Ladadaine.
Prahlada Ladadaine.
Prahlada Ladadaine.
Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha.
Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha.
Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha.
Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha.
Tilaitankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakalaya.
Shilaitankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakalaya.
Ito Narasimho Parato Narasimho.
Ito Narasimho Parato Narasimho.
Yato Yato Yamitato Narasimho.
Yato Yato Yamitato Narasimho.
Bahir Narasimho Hidaye Narasimho.
Bahir Narasimho Hidaye Narasimho.
Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapadye.
Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapadye.
Tavakara Kamalavare Rakamatuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kachipu Tanu Bringa
Kamadare Nakamadhuta Sringa Lalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringa
Keshabhadriyata Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Keshavadhirtha Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev
Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev
Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Svarupa Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Oh Bhakta Svarupa Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guru Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev Oh Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Saligrama Pratisthita Mangala Mangala Me
Saligrama Pratisthitaya Mangala Mangala Me
Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me
Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me
Prapatti Dharme Karadaya Mangala Mangala Me
Prapatti Dharme Karadaya Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Saligrama Pratisthitaya Mangala Mangala Me
Saligrama Pratisthitaya Mangala Mangala Me
Tridhandadarine Godagrajaya Mangala Mangala Me
Tridhandadarine Godagrajaya Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Sakenkari Rataya Mangala Mangala Me
Gange Sakenkari Rataya Mangala Mangala Me
Mananathaya Dharine Dharaya Mangala Mangala Me
Mananathaya Dharine Dharaya Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Mangala Mangala Me Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Meya Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Hara Vishnu Vidata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Umarama Brahmani Tumai Jagamata Meya Tumai Jagamata Surya Chandra Madhyamata Surya Chandra Madhyamata Narada Rishigata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Durga Rupa Niranjani Sukha Sampati Data Meya Sukha Sampati Data Jo koi tumako dhyavat Jo koi tumako dhyavat Riddhi Siddhi Dhana Pata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tuma Patala Nivasini Tumai Shubhadata Meya Tumai Shubhadata Karma Prabhava Prakashini Karma Prabhava Prakashini Bhavani Dikitrata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Chisagara Mem Tumarati Sabasa Gunata Meya Sabasa Gunata Sabasambhava Ojata Sabasambhava Ojata Manana Ingabarata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tuma bina yajna na hote Vastra na koi pata Meya vastra na koi pata Kana panaka vaibhava Kana panaka vaibhava Sabba tuma se ata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Subhaguna Mandira Sundar Shiro Dhadi Jata Meya Shiro Dhadi Jata Ratna Chatura Dasha Tuma Bina Ratna Chatura Dasha Tuma Bina Koi Nahi Pada Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Mahalakshmi Ji ki Arati Jo koi jana gata Meya jo koi jana gata Purananda Samata Purananda Samata Papa Uttara Jata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Hara Vishnu Vidata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Meya Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Hara Vishnu Vidata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Vara Vishnu Vidata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Sasagra Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Govinda Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om प्रेम से बोलो श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की श्री भूतभद्रेश्वरनाथ नरसिंह भगवान की राधा कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की महावतार के अभाव जी की श्री मनुजाचार्य की प्रेम से बोलो सद्गुरुदेव श्री स्वामी विश्वानंद महाप्रभु की ओम कृष्ण कृष्णाय गोविंदाय गोपीजन वल्लभाय पराय परम पुरुषाय हर कर्म मंत्रयंत तंत्र औषधानि शस्त्राणि समराय समरा मृत्योर्मोचाय मोचाय ओम नमो भगवते सुदर्शनाय दिक्ते जलाप्रिताय सर्वदि सुमरं भक्त परस्मै परब्रह्मणे परमज्योतिषे स्वाहा ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे श्याम कतरमना गोविंदा गोपिका जीवन स्मरणम गोविंदा भक्तवत्सला गोविंदा कुंडलीक वरदे एकनाथ नामदेव पंढरीनाथ महाराज की समस्त भक्त मंडली की आलवार पेरुमनार तिरुवल्लिगलाये शरणम